The cost of maybe, why commitment is the only way forward. If you listen closely, you'll hear it all around you. It's in the way people speak. It's subtle, soft, almost harmless. A word that slips into conversation like it belongs there. Maybe I'll switch careers. Maybe I'll start that business someday. Maybe next year I'll get serious about my health. Maybe. 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 It doesn't sound dangerous. In fact, it feels reasonable. Like the middle ground between yes and no. Like you're keeping your options open. But make no mistake, maybe is not harmless. It's a quiet trap. It keeps people stuck right where they are. It lulls them into thinking they're thinking, when they're actually avoiding. Because maybe is not a plan. Maybe is not a decision. And you can't build anything meaningful on top of something so flimsy. I've heard it from incredibly talented people, visionaries, creatives, go-getters. People with the potential to do something great. But when asked what their next step is, they hesitate. I'm still figuring things out. I just want to make sure it's the right time. I'm thinking about it. But here's the truth, life doesn't wait for perfect clarity. It rewards those who move, those who commit. It rewards the doers, not the thinkers. And it punishes hesitation. Because the longer you wait, the heavier it gets. The more you delay, the more momentum you lose. It's not just about staying in place. No, maybe doesn't just stall you, it drags you backward. If you want a better future, you have to build it, brick by brick. You can't build anything solid with one foot in and one foot out. You can't start something real if you're already thinking about quitting. You can't make true progress if you're trying to keep all your doors open. Eventually, you have to shut the door. You have to say, this is my path, and walk it. Because maybe doesn't get you there. Only commitment does. The price of waiting. I've seen people live in maybe for years. Smart people. Ambitious people. People who had everything they needed, but never moved forward. They were waiting for perfect timing, for the fear to go away, for the right sign to fall out of the sky. They waited for life to hand them certainty. But here's the truth, certainty never comes first. The people who win in life are not the ones with all the answers. They're the ones willing to move without them. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need a 10-year plan. You don't need a guarantee. You need a decision. You need motion. Because clarity doesn't come before the move. It comes after. Confidence doesn't come first either. It grows with every step you take. Even a small move forward starts building momentum. But nothing happens while you hesitate. And yet, people keep saying maybe. Because maybe feels polite. Maybe feels smart. It sounds like you're being thoughtful, cautious. But underneath, it's fear in disguise. We don't like to say no. We don't like to admit that we're scared to commit. So instead, we say maybe. We buy ourselves time. Maybe after the holidays. Maybe when things calm down. Maybe next month, when I feel more ready. But you're not planning. You're postponing. And deep down, you already know that. The pattern of hesitation. Here's the danger, the more you say maybe, the more natural it becomes. At first, it's just a delay. Then it becomes a pattern. And then, before you realize it, it becomes your personality. Suddenly, you're the person who avoids deciding. You hesitate. You overthink. You rehearse possibilities in your mind but never follow through. And here's the part no one tells you, every time you delay a decision, you weaken your confidence. A little bit of your belief in yourself fades. A little more trust in your ability to act disappears. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly, one avoided decision at a time. Until eventually, you're not just doubting the decision, you're doubting yourself. You don't trust that you can handle the risk. You don't believe you can follow through. And that's when maybe becomes your prison. Because maybe is a silent no. It's a way to back out without saying so. It's a delay tactic dressed in good intentions. It's a refusal to decide while pretending to be open-minded. But the truth is, maybe is what keeps people stuck in the same year, repeating the same story, over and over. Confidence is built, not found. Most people think confidence is something you either have or you don't. That's not true. Confidence is something you build. And you build it by doing. You don't become confident by thinking about it. You don't become confident by journaling or watching motivational videos. Those things might help, but they won't replace action. Real confidence comes when you do the thing you were afraid to do. When you show up even though you're uncertain. When you move anyway. It's uncomfortable. Yes. But that discomfort? That's the signal you're doing something real. People wait for confidence before they act, but it doesn't work like that. You act first. Confidence follows. It's the reward for showing up. For doing what you said you would do. For honoring your own word. Every time you follow through, you send a message to yourself, I can trust me. And when you can trust yourself, hesitation has no power. The discipline advantage. You want out of maybe? You need more than motivation. You need discipline. Because motivation is unreliable. It's high one day, gone the next. You feel inspired in the morning and exhausted by noon. You can't build a meaningful life on emotion alone. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't need you to be in the mood. It shows up no matter what. And that's what makes it powerful. Build a system. Build a habit. Something small, something repeatable. Something you can anchor your day to. Wake up and read. Move your body. Work on your craft. Call that person. Track your goals. Say what needs to be said. It doesn't need to be dramatic. Just consistent. Because every time you repeat that action, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. And eventually, it becomes who you are. Not someone who thinks about doing. Someone who does. Commitment changes everything. Here's something no one tells you. The minute you commit, really commit, everything shifts. You stop circling. You stop researching forever. You stop waiting for the right mood. The mental fog begins to clear. Because now, instead of floating in maybe, you're anchored. Now you're not wondering, you're doing. You're not daydreaming, you're building. And yes, challenges will come. Doubt will return. People will question you. Life will push back. But if you stay committed, you'll keep moving. Because real commitment isn't something you say once. It's something you prove, every single day. Especially on the hard days. The middle is messy, but keep going. You will have days when everything feels off. Days when the motivation is gone. Days when you question if you chose the right path. That doesn't mean you failed. That's just the middle. And the middle is always messy. But those who finish are not the ones who never doubted. They're the ones who moved through the doubt. So how do you do that? You protect your direction. You surround yourself with people who are moving, not floating. You remove the distractions. You stop reopening doors you already closed. You build anchors, routines, habits, structure. And you remember why you started. Because when the emotions wear off, the reason must remain. The exit out of maybe. You want out of maybe? Then build discipline. Choose a few habits. Keep them small. Make them non-negotiable. Let them anchor your day, and they will pull you forward, one step, one honest effort at a time. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Because once you've built a structure of follow-through, maybe doesn't stand a chance. You're too busy building. Too focused. Too far along. And suddenly, you're not just someone trying to change. You're someone who has changed. You won't feel ready. Start anyway. The path doesn't appear until you walk it. Confidence doesn't show up until you act. Waiting for clarity before you move? That's a trap. Waiting to feel fearless? You'll be waiting forever. Commit first. Move anyway. Let the process give you the answers. Let your action create the clarity you've been waiting for. Because that's how people build great things. They don't wait for certainty. They take messy action. They refine as they go. And in that motion, they become something more than they were before. They become builders. Movers. Doers. The final push. Look, maybe feels smart. It feels responsible. But if you zoom out and look at what it actually creates, the truth is clear. Maybe builds nothing. It builds stagnation. It builds hesitation. It builds a future filled with regrets over the chances you didn't take. So here's your sign. If you've been waiting for clarity, for the right moment, this is it. Decide. Move. Anchor yourself to something solid. Let your action create the future you want. Because the future isn't built by those who waited. It's built by those who committed. And that's what this is about. Not potential. Not ideas. Not good intentions. Action. Discipline. Commitment. That's how you break free from maybe. And that's how you build a life that actually means something.